Welcome to Kung Fu Africa number 2. The video before this was a blooper. So again, let me begin with shouting out to my bro, Theo Butler, the ultimate Black Panther fan. And just like him, I agree, Black Panther needs to be recast. Mr. Butler, a Marine, hoorah, Army, National Guard. It's not just a shirt. I was in the Army. My dog tags back in my room, they're real. Haven't worn them in a while. I need to go put them things back on because I feel kind of naked without them. I know I've been out of the military longer than I've been in, but, at the same time, I still earned those dog tags. So Mr. Butler, who is an avid Black Panther fan, who has started or is one of the main contributors to the recast T'Challa movement, I'm right there with him. He mentioned that there aren't a lot of black heroes, and a lot of us take subsequences to whatever the hero company in movies and comics are willing to give us. And we just take a side note to that and just say, okay, fuck it, we accept it. Well, I'm with Mr. Butler. We don't have to fucking accept that shit. And I will get back to that in a second about some of the other things that Mr. Butler went into. But my name is Echo Fang Grey Wolf. I am part native, I am part black, and I am part white. And Mr. Butler's 1,000% right. But there are not enough black heroes with substantial ability to be household names outside of T'Challa and currently Falcon. Maybe if you're old enough and you go far enough back, you remember Blade. Okay? But let's not forget T'Challa came first. Okay? Well noted that he came first. There was a couple of black Captain Americas besides Falcon. And you just had to go do your research. But I'm going to let Theo handle that. What I'm going to handle is the fact that what he said is 1,000% right. There are not enough people of color heroes that are household names. I'll let Mr. Butler handle the black part. I'm going to handle the native part. Because this is something that pissed me off. And I learned this last night. So I follow quite a few hero people on TikTok and possibly on YouTube. And none of the people that I follow who are black know any native characters at all. Marvel has 13 of them that I could find on my trusty little thing here. So I'm going to randomly read them off. Because noted the first most noted one is Warpath's brother Thunderbird, who is John Proudstar. Then you have Warpath, who is James Proudstar. Then you have Black Crow, whose name I can't remember. Then you have Red Wolf 1, Red Wolf 2, whose names I also can't remember. Then you have Forge. You have Forge's teacher adversary. That's not his real name. That's the name of the person that possessed him. Then you have Danielle Moonstone, a.k.a. Psyche, a.k.a. Mirage, a.k.a. Spellbounder, a.k.a. Dark Rider when she became a Valkyrie. Now, what does those first 7 people have in common? 4 of them are X-Men. Alright? Thunderbird, Warpath, Forge, Dark Rider. Alright? 4 of them are X-Men. Okay. There's a native that they left off here, and I'm going to touch on her too. So now you have Puma, Shaman, Talisman, American Eagle, a.k.a. Jay Strongbow, Wyatt Wingfoot, and Private J Little Bear. Talisman and Shaman are father and daughter, and their last name is Two Tall Men. Elizabeth is Talisman, Michael is Shaman. Why do I know these characters? Because I'm part native. But Marvel fucked up. They left off Snowbird, who's Inuit, or Eskimo, if that's what you prefer to call them. But she's Inuit. She's a snow goddess. She turns into a fucking a falcon, excuse me. Not even that. My bad. She turns into a fucking snow owl. Okay? She's not on this list. That pissed me off just now. Apache Kid is not on this list. However, Private J Little Bear is. I don't know that much about him. I don't know that much about Apache Kid. Because I didn't know those books actually existed. And being part native, you kind of like, okay, well, damn, I didn't know about this. I know who American Eagle is. I know who Wyatt Wingfoot is because he dated She-Hulk. Okay? He's made a few appearances on Fantastic Four and he has no powers. He has absolutely no fucking powers, but he's native to the fucking core. He's also the only one that comes from an imaginary tribe. Alright? They don't have Captain Kickapoo on here, aka Joe Gomez. So out of 13, they left off like 2 or 3 more. They left off the villain Scalp Hunter, who's Comanche, just like Forge, just like Danielle Moonstone, aka Dark Rider. I like calling her Dark Rider. I don't know why I like calling her Dark Rider. But Puma is a villain for Spider-Man. Red Wolf is questionable because I think Red Wolf 1 is the bad guy and Red Wolf 2 is the good guy. I can't remember how that works out. But being they left off Snowbird, Scalp Hunter, Apache Kid, they left all of them off this list unless this list goes down and they didn't go. Okay, well, let's start with some pictures, shall we? This is Thunderbird, John Proudstar. That's a whole bio of him. Where is Warpath's picture? They do not have Warpath's picture. But they have his whole bio right there. This is Black Crow. Maybe now I can get to know his name. But if you can see him, that's Black Crow. Black Crow's name is Jesse Black Crow. Damn, I should have figured that out. Alright, so we got that. This is Red Wolf 1 and 2. Native American carried Red Wolf. The incarnation of Red Wolf was a tale of the 19th century. Johnny Wickerly was a Cheyenne man who was raised by white parents. His adopted parents were killed by Native Americans in the military attack, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where this makeup thing just came from. Anyway, where's Red Wolf 2? Red Wolf mantle was taken by Cheyenne of William Talltrees. So I guess that's Red Wolf 2 because it's not giving me shit because there's like some kind of ad over top of every damn thing. This is Forge, a more popular X-Man with the power to build shit. Forge is the only name they've ever really given Forge. So if he has a real name, they don't tell you, but you know he's Cheyenne. Alright? Adversary. They don't have a picture of Adarius. They have a picture of Adversary. So maybe I had to wait for the Warpath picture. Let's get with Adversary first. I'll go back to Warpath to see if there's a picture later. Adversary is a Native American demon that Forge let loose during the Vietnam War. Except for Adversary possessed the body of Naze. N-A-Z-Y or N-A-Z-E. He was Forge's original mystical magical teacher. So Forge is not just a mutant, he's also a spiritualist or a wizard. This is Danielle Moonstone, who was my favorite X-Man before I found out that I was part Native. So she's probably the most relatable X-Man for me, but she's also Cheyenne. Alright? Go into that. This is Puma. Come on, show us a picture. Puma is also Native American. His real name is Thomas Fireheart. He was a rich Native American, a very rich Native American. And technically he was a villain for Spider-Man. But I don't know what they've done with him since. Alright? Michael Two Young Men, not Two Tall Men. I'm sorry, I made a mistake on his name, but this is Michael Two Young Men. He is a shaman. He has mystical magical powers. He is not technically a mutant, but he is not technically a mutant. I can't really explain how his work and how his daughter Talisman works. But I think I just went past her. Come on. This is Talisman. This is his daughter, Elizabeth. Two young men. So, you know, they pretty got the same powers. This is American Eagle. Jay Strongbow. Okay? Jay Strongbow, what the fuck was he? He's a Navajo. FYI, Warpath and his brother are both Apache. Okay? This is why I Wingfoot with Mr. Richards, or aka Mr. Fantastic. Why Wingfoot doesn't come from a real tribe. His tribe is imaginary. I forgot what they called it, but it's imaginary. It's not a real tribe. Alright? This is Private J. Little Bear. He is native. I forgot what tribe. We're going to find out in a second. He was part of Captain Savage's. He was one of the Leatherneck Raiders. Come on, give me his tribe, goddammit. It is not giving me his tribe, which kind of sucks. Or I'm overlooking it. It did not give me his tribe. Okay. He was good with knives and archery, and occasionally throws a tomahawk. But for some reason, it's not giving me his fucking tribe. Or maybe I didn't go down far enough. Damn it, I know he has a tribe. What the fuck is his tribe? They're not giving me his tribe, and I can't find it, and I don't want this video to go too long on me searching for a fucking tribe. Alright, so let's scroll back up to Warpath. Maybe they'll have his picture now. Black Crow. Nope, they do not have his picture. That fucking sucks. But they have Thunderbird's pictures. They're pretty much in the same damn uniform. Now, like I said, they don't have Snowbird. They don't have Captain Kickapoo. They don't have the Apache Kid listed. They don't have Scalp Hunter listed, which is kind of fucked up because if you have Puma, who's a bad guy, you can have Scalp Hunter, who's a bad guy. Alright? And they're all native. Now, the thing with that is, only maybe 4 of the people that I named, maybe 5, are well known. Those 4 X-Men, Warpath, Thunderbird, Danielle Moonstar, and Forge, you probably know them because you've seen them on the cartoon. If you know them, then you should know at least 3 members of the Alpha Flight that were native. Only 2 are mentioned, which is Elizabeth and Michael, 2 young men, which is Talisman, that being Elizabeth, and Shaman being her father, Michael. But if you know them, then you should also know Snowbird, who is Inuit. Alright? She turns into a fucking owl. And at one point in time, her body was given to Walter Lankowski because something happened and his body got messed up or something, and her body was used with his Sasquatch powers while she went off into the astral plane to be married to somebody. Now, who else did we leave off that's not on this list? How about Silver Fox? You know, Wolverine's supposedly wife, supposedly not wife, when he was part of Weapon X, etc., etc. So, she's not on here. Now, as far as Maverick, I don't know if Maverick is native or not. But I do know that Silver Fox is native. Snowbird is native. Michael and Elizabeth, 2 young men, are native. All of those are Canadian natives. Now, both two young men, Elizabeth and Michael, are First Nations. I can't remember what clan of First Nations, because there are different tribes in First Nations. So, I can't remember that. But Snowbird is Inuit from Alaska. But somehow she found her working with Alpha Flight. I had never figured out what that was. I don't know if fucking Marvel gave her an origin story or not. Because, you know, you have Jean-Paul Northstar and his twin sister. No. So, they're both Chinese. Or let me be politically correct. They are both of Asian ethnicity, but they are not of native ethnicity. But they are native to Canada. Alright? I forgot what their story was. I can't remember if they were adopted or if their family was like in Canada and they're just born there. But they are Canadian citizens, just like every other member of Alpha Flight. But this isn't about them. This is about the natives' heroes that a lot of people just don't catch. Now, in case you want, or if you want to classify him as partially native, because I kind of do, because Mexicans are also Native Americans, Miguel O'Hara is half Mexican and half Irish. Mexicans are Native Americans as well. So Miguel O'Hara can technically be played by me because I'm part Native. And people thought I was Mexican for a very long time. Anyway, all jokes aside, Native American heroes are very rarely introduced on these TikToks unless there's a native creator that's doing it. They are rarely mentioned. Freaking, I made this video because I follow people. I'm going to shout y'all out, okay? I'm going to shout you out. I follow Comic Detective. I follow Comics Dad. But whenever I bring up Native American heroes, they are bewildered. They have no fucking idea who I'm talking about. I just started following a new guy last night who didn't even know native characters existed. So this video has to be made. And I think that if I do a live TikTok, I'm going to specifically talk about Native American heroes and villains due to the fact that only one other person doing it, he's native. And he doesn't have a big following. I don't have a big enough following, but he's actually full native. And he only does it like on special occasions. I want to probably try to make it a thing. So if you guys want to have more things about native heroes on my YouTube, let me know. I'm going to ask the same question on my TikTok at some point, at some time between tonight and tomorrow. Because it's not explored enough. And it kind of hurts my feelings that, you know, there's like a lot of native characters that no one fucking knows about. Now, again, you know, I have to say, I've pitched this to Comics Dad, well not Comics Dad, excuse me, Comics Dad, I'm sorry, to the Comic Detective. And he has no idea who the hell Scalp Hunter is. And I'm like, but you've read a few X-Men. Scalp Hunter has made quite a few appearances in X-Men, specifically in the Infernal Saga. So for those who have not read the Infernal Saga, spoiler alert, it does have a happy ending, but not for a certain young lady. But other than that, you know, there's also very few featured natives in the Infernal Saga outside of Scalp Hunter being an asshole. Okay? Now, I am waiting for my Native Voices comic to come in. So, I'm waiting for that. And when that comes in, I'll try to make a video about it. But that doesn't come in until October of next year. Well, it comes in this October, I think. So, yeah, but I paid for it last year. So, I have to wait for this year, for October to come around. Now, here's the thing. As Mr. Butler said, you know, because we're used to Batman, we don't have a problem when they recast Batman, but they should be recasting T'Challa. And he said that most of us people of color, we yield and take whatever they give us. So I'm gonna make a part 2, and I'm gonna talk about black characters that are not household names either. All right. Gotta get my phone back out, Google it, and shoot down some black characters so that you guys understand. But for everybody watching, you should probably look into some of these native heroes. I mean, Puma, I would like to say that he's probably more anti-hero than villain, but I could be wrong. You have to take your own opinion on that. Same thing with both Red Wolves. We know for a fact that Forge is a hero. Alright? We also know for a fact that Forge initially killed the X-Men in Fall of the Mutants. Okay, and if you don't know, I just spoiler alert your ass right there. Forge killed the X-Men to save the Earth, so to speak. Basically, it all happened in his building in Dallas. The X-Men were in deep shit. Technically, let's start over. Let's start over. First, Forge was in deep shit. Because Adversary, who took over the body of Naze, came to Forge's building and started wreaking havoc and opened up a world inside of Forge's building, which he also put a shield around so that nobody could get out. Upon doing that, I forgot how the X-Men actually got in, so that's on me. I literally forgot how they got in. But somehow or another, they got in because Forge called them and they needed to get in. So I'm going to name off the X-Men and the non-mutant X-Men who came to aid Forge. So you have the X-Men who would become legends. Colossus, Wolverine, Storm, Madeline Pryor, X-Man, no powers. Psylocke, Rogue, Dazzler, Havoc. Okay? Havoc was there too. I'm pretty sure Havoc. Yeah, Havoc was there. Havoc was there. Now the two X-Men that were at home, Kurt Wagner and Kitty Pryde, they were at home. This would spawn the founding of Excalibur because Kitty and Kurt, for some reason, left the mansion. I guess they went to go tell Brian that his sister had died, and they never came back home after that. And then Brian, Kitty, and Kurt formed Excalibur. Then they met Megan and some other people. We'll worry about Excalibur on another damn video. But anyway, so you have Alex Summers, Havoc, Logan, which is Wolverine, Colossus. Got those three guys? Got them loaded up now. You have Storm, Rogue, Dazzler, because Spinal stabbed her in the face with a knife and put a mask on her that she was stuck on. Okay? So you got those already. You got the Dazzler. You got Psylocke. And then you have Madeline Pryor. Okay? So those 8 people were part of the spell. In that spell, they were killed by Forge and his magic to lock Adversary back into whatever dimension he crawled from. Now, when the news got to Brian Braddock, who is Excalibur's leader, Brian Braddock, who, I guess I should probably install that. So, Brian Braddock, aka Captain Britain, he had ties with outer worldly forces, and he went to Roma. This is why I said Marvel's like totally fucked up some shit. That's why I kind of stopped reading. But he went to Roma, and Roma decided with all her council that what the X-Men did was that sacrifice of selflessness. They didn't need to die, but since they died, she was going to bring them back. She brought them back and made them legends. I forgot how they got the knife and the mask off of Dazzler, but they do eventually get that. But the X-Men came back and wound up in the Reavers' headquarters in Australia. Alright? This is where Dazzler finds the Seas Parallax. This is where shit goes to hell for all the X-Men. Okay? This is also where they meet Jubilee. Now, this is in the 80s. This is like mid-80s, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, when X-Men were hitting their peak of everything. Now, this is like just before they turn Psylocke Asian. Alright? So, they don't turn Psylocke Asian until the Seas Parallax is used, like, I think in 88, 89, where all the X-Men walk through the Seas Parallax, except Storm, because she gets kidnapped by Nanny, and then she's rescued by Gambit, etc., etc., Longshot and Dazzler, after Longshot finds her again, because Longshot's the only one who said, fuck that, I'm not going through the Seas Parallax. Also, Longshot was in Dallas, so he died too. Alright, just to get that out the way. I'm pretty sure he died in Dallas. My memory might be a little bit clouded, but I'm pretty sure he died in Dallas. But I know there was a lot of people that Forge eliminated with this spell. I have to go find the book. I have it. I'll have to go find the book. But it was Fall of the Mutants, Death in Dallas. Anyway, so Roma brought them back. That's the long and short. When she brought them back, she made them legends. And by making them legends, at the time, now I'm pretty sure all this shit's been retconned, but at the time, the X-Men could not be picked up by any cameras at all. Which is why whenever the X-Men save people, because everybody watched the X-Men die on live TV. The reporter literally was recording the entire incident, and they watched the X-Men die inside of the apartment. Even Freedom Force was upset that the X-Men died, because Freedom Force was going to arrest their ass. But when Spiral stabbed Dazzler in the face, somehow or another, everybody who was in Freedom Force, Crimson Commando, Mystique, Saber, I think that's what his name, he was the fast guy, with the aviator hat on and the shit. I think Sabretooth was there, but I'm not going to swear to it. But I know that Freedom Force was secretly members of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But they when they captured people, they literally turned them bad. Where when X Factor captured people, they secretly let them go somewhere else, which generally wound up being Genosha. Anyway, moving back to the Death in Dallas. The X-Men were dead and brought back to life. Alright? Forge is this, in case you guys thought I was off track, no, I'm not off track, because this is Maze and Forge, who are native. Alright? Now, Forge and Storm had a relationship at that time, which is how the X-Men managed to wind up there. Forge being native, Storm being from Africa. They were going to get married, and everything went to hell in a handbasket. This is another reason why I stopped reading the comics, because they decided to put her with Black Panther. Alright? 616 now. We're in the 616. So, that's just in case my boy Mr. Butler is actually watching this video, which I'm pretty sure he's not. But anyway, the whole thing is that the natives were not really featured in any other comics other than this comic, where it was all about Forge and Maze, aka Adversary, in Maze's body. Maze agreed with Forge. I think they were speaking like telepathically that you gotta end this, and this guy has my body. Whatever happens to me doesn't matter as long as we stop this guy, because if the world gets out of the castle or Forge's building, then Texas is gonna be nothing, and then the world will be engulfed in all of Maze's, aka Adversary's, black magic shit. So all the X-Men volunteered, and then Madeline Pryor left one message on live TV for Scott to go find their baby, because at this time Sinister had already acquired Scalp Hunter in them, like 3 books before, to attack Madeline in Alaska, where they shot her and left her for dead, but somehow she got help, but the baby, Cable, was taken. Okay? And so that inspired X Factor to go hunt down the Marauders. But X Factor never really got to the Marauders because Sinister gave the baby to Apocalypse, who injected him with the fucking virus that kills mutants. Alright, now y'all know that. I'm pretty sure all that shit that I just said was retconned by now. But that being said, the fact that no one knows enough native heroes pisses me off. Stay tuned for part 2, when we explore black heroes after my phone updates. That being said, I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing ya.